Well, welcome to the Money Tip Podcast presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joe Single. We are fired up to help you live your fully funded life. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Megan Hibbert. Are you fired up on this Monday?
Yep, you are some rare form today.
Yes, it is. It is Monday, and I'm fired up. We're gonna accomplish a lot of things this week. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna be profitable. It's summertime. Get fired up. Let's go. Tell everybody what we're gonna talk about today.
Today we are talking about the 50-30-20
rule.
Is it the right ratio?
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff going around on social media right now, the 50-30-20. And of course, people have heard of the 80-10-10 and the 80-20 and all this stuff. This is another that's been running around. It's the 50-30-20. Is it the right rule?
50-30-20.
So let me explain what the 50-30-20, it means percentages. And so 50% would go to needs. Everything splits to needs, wants, and savings. Okay? So 50% to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings. It recommends that. Okay? Now that's the source. Now let's think about needs. 50%. It means about half of your budget should go towards needs. These are expenses that must be met no matter what. Give us some examples.
Utility bills, rent, or mortgage payment. I mean, you want to have somewhere to live, right? Healthcare, groceries, because you got to eat. If you can honestly say, I can't live without it, you have identified a need. Minimum requirements, payments on credit cards or loans also belong to this category.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
you
car
really
payment, house payment, rent.
Yeah. You have to take that statement and really do some self-reflection.
Well, we've talked about needs versus wants.
A lot
and
of
you
people
talk about
would
your
say,
wanter.
I need that.
Yeah.
But
we all know that the A is pronounced with a U sound, wanter.
Your wanter.
But we had fun with that episode. I remember that.
That was a long time ago.
Now let's talk about wants or wants, which it rhymes with runts and is proper enunciation if you're from where I'm from in the neck of the woods of southern Indiana. So now living in South Carolina 25 years.
That's 25 years. Wow.
Yeah. Wants.
I've been here 10. That's a long time.
Yep.
All right, so your subscription to a streaming service you watch your favorite show on, not because you need the subscription to live, but you want it. So things that you enjoy spending your money on, such as subscriptions, supplies for hobbies. Hobbies can be very pricey. Restaurant meals and vacations.
Yeah, so I'm using some free cedar logs to cut lumber out of. And so I got some lumber, and I decided to make some duck boxes, some wood duck boxes out of it. And I only took 2 trips to the hardware store to buy tools to make my free duck boxes. And I bought a jigsaw, and I bought some blades for another saw. And, my free ones ended up costing me like $60, right? But that was once. Didn't need it. Felt like a need in the moment, but it was a want. So I can give these duck boxes away.
Does that go under your spending category?
It's in my spending category. It's my spending money.
You're spending money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's my hobby. It's a want. So let's talk about savings.
Yep. So savings would be the extra 20%. So the remainder of your budget go towards the future. So you may put money in an emergency fund, distribute to a retirement account, save towards a down payment on a home, paying down debt beyond the minimum payments amount belongs in this category too. Which
immediately makes it confusion, right? Because they're putting pay down debt in savings, right? Yeah. But let's talk about application to our fully funded life ladder, which we're kind of partial to since we kind of came up with it. Help you live your fully funded life. The right ratio, we say, is dependent. It is dependent upon where you're at in your journey to your fully funded life.
Yeah, everyone's situation is different.
Shall we give some clarification of that?
We shall.
Okay, so what if I'm on rung number 1 or 2?
Yep, so the ratio needs to be more like 50, 10, 40.
Okay, so remember it's needs, wants, savings. And so because we'll have the ladder up there, let's put the ladder up here. So rungs 1 and 2, you're writing down your dreams, starting to build your savings. So you need to be putting 50%, of course, towards your needs, but only like 10% to your wants, because what is the priority here? It's covering daily needs and filling up that savings account, building that wall of margin around you.
Yep.
Okay. So we go up the ladder, and we get to rungs 3 and 4.
Yep. So then
what's the ratio need to be?
You want to change it to more like 80, 10, 10.
So we've kept we've kept the wants. The wants are at 10% still, but the switch has happened to where we can put the 80% towards our needs. And this is because we're saying it doesn't make sense to call extra money going to debt as savings. That's not savings. You are eliminating money you've already borrowed. You're paying it off. So that's why 10%, you've built your initial emergency fund. Rung number 4 is where every available dollar now goes towards paying down debt, which is part of your needs. You're needing to pay off that debt. Okay? Yep. You get to rung number 5, of course, that's where you're building tons of savings. So, but we get to rung number 5, we should be somewhere around, this is where you can start introducing more fun. It can be more like 50, 20, 30, more to savings until you get your savings built to a minimum of 3 months worth of expenses or whatever number of months you want. Then we get to rung 6 and 7.
Yep.
That's where we're like really building, investing, really hammering.
Yeah. So there
our house payment
ratio can be more like 50, 30, 20.
So we're finally there. That's what they recommended, the 50, 30, 20.
But for us, it's not until you get to rung 6 or 7.
So we're saying this does not apply to the general population because 7 out of 10 people are down on rungs 1 and 2. They do not have a month's worth of money saved up. They've got debt that they need to pay off. And so the 50, 30, 20 plan, we believe, only applies once you're on rung 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So you're finally there. And then you get to rung number 8, of course, and that ratio can then move to what?
30, 40, 30.
So again, we like to have the ladder up here so you can see what rung 8 is. You're debt-free on everything, including your housing.
Mild.
Right? You have no debt. So listen, you can spend 30% on your needs because your needs have went way down. The cost of those needs, housing costs have basically been eliminated except for taxes and insurance. And you've got that 40% going to wants, get fired up, and you're still investing. Well, rung number 8 is getting 30% placed into tax advantage investments. So that's why it's 30%, 30, 40, 30. Now you're living that fully funded life. Well, that ratio gets built even more for the fun stuff.
Yeah. 15, 50, 35.
Yeah. So 50% going to wants. Isn't that awesome? 15% to needs because cost of living is virtually nothing compared to the wealth that you built. You're living that fully funded life, and 35% can still be going into savings.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love seeing is that people are moved, even as they go into retirement and they stop having earned income production, that the investments they have made, coupled with their guaranteed pensions, Social Security and defined pensions from in place of employment, that they're still able to save at like a pace of 35% and spend money on a lot of fun things.
Yeah. And I think too, some people are probably like, I can't spend any on my wants until I'm at rung 6 or 7. But rungs 1 through 5 aren't meant to take forever.
No.
Like it's a set time that we're trying to work through that.
3.5 years max.
Yeah. So it's just a limited amount of time that you're really focused. You're trying to cut out all the other things so that you can save money and pay off debt, get started investing, like do all of these things that are on the beginning phases of the ladder to accomplish that.
And I love that. And, you know, I know what the pushback from our 50, 30, 20 fans are. I know the pushback. The pushback is, hey, you got to live right now, man. You got 30% on your wants, man. You got to live while you're living. But the fact is, you just really kind of pushed at that and said, what? She
said they might live broke.
Yeah, the fact is, if you're the average family and you've got student loan debt, credit card debt, truck debt, car debt, furniture debt, mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, right? You've got money on, did I mention furniture, jewelry loan? You got all these different things that people have. If you're going to spend 30% on wants, you're going to prolong the journey to debt freedom so long that you'll need to replace the car before you've actually had time to save up the money to replace it with cash. You will have prolonged it so long that stuff in the house you bought, even if you bought it new, is going to start needing replaced or updated. And you will not have gotten free of debt soon enough. And this is why we just encourage everybody to pursue this fully funded life with energy, with conviction. I mean, you touched a little nerve there when you're saying it's not much time. You can't let this drag on. You got to get after it. And I don't know about you. I think I do know. But the wants for me, I'm willing to put off the wants for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. I mean, I remember as a kid riding dirt bikes. I remember as a kid riding 3-wheelers back in the day. And then the 4-wheelers came out. I'm like, oh yeah, when I get money, I'm getting me one of these. And driving, seeing people with the big souped up trucks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm going to get me one of those. I was 45 before I had my first 4-wheeler. Because I'm willing to put off wants for a long time.
Yeah.
And now we have 3 dirt bikes and 1 4-wheeler.
There you go.
At one point in time, I got the 3 4-wheelers and I replaced them for dirt bikes. But the bottom line is, I said no to wants for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what gobbles up your money. I don't know what gobbles up the money of all of our listeners. But there's things that'll just gobble it up. And as much money as you'll feed it in that middle number, that wants, it'll eat it. It's an all-consuming. Yeah. You've got to kind of starve it for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Any last things you would share about the 50-30-20 ratio?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I honestly haven't really paid it much attention, just because I feel like some things are like little trends that come and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, is this really the thing or not?
And I like it. I like our response to it here. It is appropriate in the right season on rung 6 and 7.
Yeah.
All the other times, hey, we would highly recommend that ratio be different. And I think we've supported it pretty good. What are your thoughts? We encourage all of our listeners to comment, to share. We like this to be a collaborative process. Hey, make sure that you think about it. How much of your money is going to needs? What percent of it's going to wants? How much of it is going to your savings? And when you capture it all together, hey, I would like you to think about it. Is it out of order compared to where you're at in your journey to your fully funded life looking at the ladder? Make the necessary adjustments, and let me tell you, friend, you will be on your way to climbing that ladder more rapidly. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you right here next Monday with another Monday Money Tip.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. There's a lot more content on our website. We got a few of them linked right here, and we got a subscription link as well. We would be so honored if you would click that like and subscribe button and go learn some additional stuff so that you can live your fully funded life.